And he had come to this earth with one mission. He had one superhero mission that he had to do. He had to save the entire world. He had to save the entire world. Now that seems pretty hard. I mean, Superman makes it look really, really easy in the movie, but this was even bigger than that. This was even bigger. Even bigger. So he had to go down to a garden late at night, and he prayed to his father, and he said, God, I really don't want this to happen. I'm really scared. I don't know what to do. If it's possible, could I please not have to do this big, important thing in order to save the world? But not my will, but let it be yours. I want it to be your choice. He said, okay, I'll do it if I need to do it. If there's no other way, if there's no other way that I can save the whole wide world, I'll do it. Listen, my hands are bound like this. How many of you guys know what this means? What does this usually mean? Tied up, that's right. Jesus got tied up. And he was arrested, and he was brought before the big important court system at that time. And they decided that Jesus was no good, that he was a troublemaker. And because of that, he deserved to die. But no, boys and girls, that wasn't true. All Jesus was trying to do was save everybody. The same way that Superman does, the same way that Batman does. He wanted to save the world. But they didn't believe he'd come to save anybody, so they said that he deserved to die. So, on that day, on that Good Friday, I know it doesn't sound very good right now, but don't worry, it's coming. But during that day, Jesus spent a long time. He got beaten, he got bruised, people spat at him, they called him names. Like, I know you guys watch the shows, and when we fight and we hurt each other, you do things like, bah, sow, ha, ha, ha. And, you know, it looks like fun, and you don't really think that we're getting hurt. When they were hurting Jesus, when they were punching him and kicking him and throwing stones at him and spitting on him, it hurt. They gave him a cross. A big wooden cross. And he had to carry that cross all the way up a giant mountain, a big giant mountain, all the way through to the ground. And this is after he'd been beaten up. So usually, you know, you're pretty tired at the end of the school day, right? But this is after he'd been beaten. He had like no strength left. Actually, he was so heavy. That cross was so heavy. Way more heavy than the Captain Cap show, I'll tell you. Way heavier than that. But he couldn't carry it himself. Actually, somebody else had to come and carry the cross with him. So, they got up to the top of the hill, and what happened to Jesus? They nailed him. They nailed him to the cross. They nailed him to that big wooden cross. And they put him up on the cross, and he had to stay there for several hours. And he stayed there with his hands out, just open. And in pain and bleeding and dying. He was in so much pain. And the people were mocking him, saying, oh, you said you were going to come save the world. You said you were going to save us. You said you were supposed to be a hero. You know, you don't look like such a hero now. What's going on with you, bud? Do you know what Jesus did, boys and girls? He looked up to God and he said, Father, please forgive them. They don't know what they're talking about. Later that day, after about noon, so Jesus had been on the cross for over 3 hours. And it was now noon. And it suddenly became pitch black. But it was super, super dark. And Jesus didn't have any strength left. So he looked up at God, and he knew at that moment that every single person's sin was on his shoulders, and he couldn't do anything about it. And before you know it, Jesus, he knew it was done. He said, it's finished. It's finished. It's done. And he looked up, and he said, okay, God, finish it. Take me. And he died. You know what the craziest thing was when Jesus died, boys and girls? A big, giant earthquake just shook the ground, shook everywhere. Every everywhere was shaking. And at that moment, there was a curtain in the temple. And it was torn from top to bottom. From top to bottom. And the reason that was so important was that when that curtain tore, it meant that everyone would have a chance to go to heaven. Now, boys and girls, that doesn't sound like the most exciting story. I mean, Jesus was beaten, he was bruised, he was punched, he was kicked, he was spat on. He went through all of that, just so that we can have a chance to be with him in heaven. Now, boys and girls, you know that the story doesn't end there, right? The story doesn't end there, right? A lot of people know what happens, not one, not two, but 3 days later. Let me tell you what happens. 3 days later. 3 days later, after Jesus had died, there was another big earthquake that shook the ground. The ground shook. And Jesus' body was laid in a tomb for 3 days. But after 3 days, the big rock that was in front of Jesus' tomb was rolled away. And Jesus walked out. He wasn't dead anymore. He was alive. He was alive. He had died, and he'd come back to life. I mean, I can't think of any superhero that's managed to do that. To be dead and come back to life after they had died for 3 days? I don't think anybody's been able to do that. And not only that, Jesus has saved the entire world. When that curtain ripped, when that curtain in the temple ripped, that meant that everybody would have a chance to go to heaven. We all could live forever. Now, boys and girls, the importance of that story is to recognize that this weekend, we may have candy and chocolate and balloons and all these bubbles and all these fun things, all these awesome things. Easter weekend is about recognizing that Jesus came so that we could have life forever. And that's why Jesus is the most important, if not the only important superhero that's ever existed. And if you guys remember anything this weekend, know that while superheroes may be cool, while superheroes might be fun, but the most important superhero that you guys can know, or that you guys can get close to and have a personal relationship. I mean, how many of you guys would like to be friends with me on Facebook? But the most important superhero that you can have a personal relationship with is Jesus.